Welcome back to our channel, Soap fans. Today is a beautiful day to dissect the absolute madness unfolding in Port Charles. We have been watching the shifting power dynamics all week, and let me tell you, the writers are pulling no punches right now. Are you kidding me with this? I just finished watching the latest scenes between Sonny and Anna Devane, and my blood is absolutely pumping. I am sitting here staring at my screen, completely electrified and simultaneously terrified by what the writing team is setting up. Let me say this clearly right out of the gate. If you are not paying close attention to the dialogue in these scenes, you are missing one of the most brilliant, frustrating, and intricately layered bait-and-switch storylines General Hospital has delivered in years. I am not calmly reviewing this episode. I am reacting with fire because this is exactly the kind of high-stakes, psychologically complex storytelling that made me fall in love with the soap opera format in the first place. And I cannot stay quiet about how they are executing it. Can we be honest about this for a second? When Sonny first started talking about leaving the mob, I rolled my eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. How many times have we heard this exact same song and dance? Sonny claiming he is going to wash his hands of the violence, step away from the underworld, and become a legitimate businessman. It is a recycled emotional beat that we have endured decade after decade. I was ready to write this entire week off as lazy writing. I was ready to scream at the television because I thought the writers were falling into the same familiar trap, taking the easy way out by pretending a man with decades of blood on his hands could just flip a switch and walk away. But then the layers started to peel back. The true intention behind the dialogue started to bleed through the screen, and I realized I was being played just as effectively as the characters on the canvas. And honestly, I have never been so thrilled to be wrong. Let us look at the mechanics of Sonny's pitch to Anna. He sits there looking her dead in the eye and tells her that he is completely serious about this transition. He claims the timing is perfect because Jen Sidwell is rotting in a jail cell and the notorious 5 families are completely dismantled. According to Sonny, there are no significant enemies left on the board. It sounds so perfectly logical, doesn't it? He wants to take back his docks. He wants to revive his coffee company. He wants to swoop into the upcoming auction and buy up Sidwell's legitimate assets. He is painting a picture of a peaceful corporate future where he wields power from a boardroom instead of a dark alley. The way he frames it, using the vacuum of power in Port Charles as his excuse to exit, is a masterclass in manipulation. He knows exactly what Anna wants to hear, and he is serving it to her on a silver platter. But Anna Devane is no fool, and this is where the writing truly shines. The show could have easily made Anna blindly accept Sonny's new leaf, but instead, they grounded her reaction in deep, painful continuity. Anna is happy for him, yes, but she is deeply skeptical, and she immediately invokes the ghost of Duke Lavery. Am I supposed to pretend that this didn't hit me right in the chest? Because it did. The writers finally remembered that Anna has lived this exact nightmare before. She remembers the constant, suffocating danger when Duke tried to untangle himself from the mob. She remembers that escaping the criminal underworld is not a clean break. It is a bloody, agonizing extraction. Comparing the mob to the WSB and the DVX was a stroke of absolute genius. Anna knows firsthand that once you are in that life, the life never truly lets you go. The danger is always hovering, always peripheral, always waiting for a moment of weakness. And then the scene elevates even further when Anna drops the name Cyrus Renaud. Yes. Thank you. This is what I mean when I talk about real dramatic weight. Anna reminds Sonny of the time Cyrus rose to power, orchestrating a multi-pronged, terrifying attack to take over the entire East Coast. She is looking at the current peace in Port Charles and recognizing it for what it truly is, the calm before a catastrophic storm. The writers using Cyrus as the historical benchmark for how quickly a power vacuum can be filled by a ruthless predator is brilliant storytelling. It grounds the current plot in the show's established reality. Anna is practically begging Sonny to see that nature abhors a vacuum, and the Port Charles underworld is no different. If Sonny steps down, someone worse will step up. The emotional core of this conversation is what makes it so incredibly compelling. Anna and Sonny finding common ground over the sheer terror of raising children in the shadow of their dangerous careers is a beat that feels so earned. Both of them have had loved ones kidnapped. Both of them have had to look their children in the eyes and explain why their lives are in danger simply because of who their parents are. This is not surface shock. This is emotional truth. When they strip away the mob boss bravado and the super spy stoicism, they are just two parents who have inflicted unimaginable trauma on their families. The dialogue here breathes like real thought in motion. It is intimate, it is urgent, and it anchors the larger, explosive plot in raw human vulnerability. And that naturally pivots the conversation to Jason Morgan. Let me say this clearly. The decision to have Jason walk away from the enforcer life to be a better father to Danny Morgan is one of the most significant structural shifts this show has attempted in years. Jason Morgan, the ultimate loyal soldier, choosing his son over the Corinthos syndicate, it is monumental. Anna and Sonny discussing this, agreeing that for the sake of their children and grandchildren, working in these lethal environments is no longer viable, is powerful. They acknowledge that while being a cop like Dante is dangerous, it is nothing compared to the meat grinder of the mob or the WSB. Jason's choice is rippling through the canvas, and it is adding an immense amount of pressure to Sonny's current position. But we cannot talk about Jason and Danny without looking at the absolute mess happening over at the Quartermaine mansion. While Jason is trying to build a safe life for Danny, Drew Cain is doing everything in his power to isolate Scout and keep her away from her brother. The juxtaposition is glaring, and it is brilliant. Drew is so consumed by his own ambition, so focused on bidding for Sidwell's assets alongside Valentine and Sonny, that he is completely ignoring the emotional damage he is doing to his daughter. Scout is confiding in Rocco. She is on the verge of outright rebellion, and Drew is completely blind to it. The writers are setting up a massive collision course here. Jason is stepping up as a father, while Drew is failing miserably, all while the shadow of the Sidwell auction looms over all of them. But here is the kicker. Here is the absolute mind-blowing revelation that makes this entire storyline a stroke of unparalleled genius. Sonny's entire narrative about going legit, it is a lie. It is a trap. When I realized what the writers were doing, I literally shouted at my screen. Sonny Corinthos is not stepping down. He is playing possum. He is deliberately broadcasting weakness to bait the remaining malicious players in the underworld out of hiding. This is not the recycled trope I thought it was. This is Sonny operating at the absolute peak of his strategic intelligence. He is using the Sidwell auction, he is using the dismantled 5 families, and he is even using his emotional conversation with Anna to set a massive, deadly snare. Think about the sheer manipulation involved here. Sonny went to Dante first. He looked his own son in the eye, a detective for the PCPD, and told him he was out of the mob. He told Anna that he did it so Dante wouldn't be torn between his badge and his father, and so he wouldn't steal Dante's thunder. But that is just another layer of the manipulation. He is using Dante's relief as a shield. If Dante believes his father is clean, the police back off. If Anna believes he is clean, the WSB backs off. Sonny is systematically clearing the board of law enforcement interference so that when the trap finally springs and the hidden enemies emerge to take his territory, he can annihilate them without Dante or Anna getting in the crossfire. It is ruthless, it is brilliant, and it is exactly who Sonny Corinthos is. But setting a trap of this magnitude requires absolute precision, and this is where I am terrified the writers are going to let it all fall apart. Sonny is projecting vulnerability in a world that eats the weak alive. By bidding on Sidwell's legitimate assets, he is drawing the attention of Valentine Cassadine, a man who never misses an opportunity to exploit a weakness. Valentine is cunning, he is ruthless, and if he catches even a whiff of what Sonny is actually doing, he will turn that trap inside out. Sonny and Jason are walking a terrifying tightrope right now. They are pretending to be defenseless sheep while holding the wolves at bay, and the tension is practically unbearable. I am so deeply invested in seeing how this plays out, but I am also acutely aware that one wrong move will result in an absolute bloodbath. And this brings me to my biggest frustration, the one element that is going to blow this entire master plan to pieces, Anna Devane. The latest developments make it explicitly clear Anna has a new obsession, and she is taking things too far. I am sorry, but this did not work for me. Why, when we finally have Sonny executing a flawless, high-level strategic maneuver, do we have to have Anna go completely off the rails? Anna is supposed to be the seasoned veteran. She is supposed to be the one who sees the angles, but instead, she is getting tunnel vision. Whatever this new obsession is, it is blinding her to the reality of what Sonny is doing. She is pushing too hard, digging too deep, and she is going to stumble right into the middle of Sonny's trap and trigger it prematurely. Can you see the collision coming? Because I can, and it is making me furious. Sonny is meticulously laying out the bait, waiting for the real threats to emerge from the shadows. But Anna, driven by this relentless, reckless new obsession, is going to bulldoze right through the setup. She's going to think she is saving the day or uncovering a conspiracy, and instead, she is going to expose Sonny's hand. The writers are setting up a massive ideological and physical clash between these two. They just had this beautiful, poignant conversation about keeping their family safe, and now Anna's inability to let things go is going to put everyone back in the line of fire. It is a tragic flaw in her character, yes, but right now it feels like a forced obstacle just to create chaos. The fallout from this is going to be catastrophic. Think about the other players on the board right now. You have Jack Brennan risking absolutely everything to help Nina and Willow, operating in the same dangerous circles. You have Hudson Parker aggressively cornering Ava Jerome, stirring up secrets that should stay buried. And you have a literal stalker hunting Trina and Kai. Port Charles is a powder keg right now. The last thing this city needs is Anna Devane going rogue and detonating Sonny's trap before it is ready. If Anna's obsession forces Sonny to act before he has identified all his enemies, the resulting gang war won't just affect the mob, it will drag Michael, Willow, Carly, and everyone else right back down into the gutter.